It is our eye on tech, and we're going to be talking about using technology and tech platforms to improve event management. See, no one talks about that. All right, let's see here. Front Desk is from ONEID. It's an event management platform. It aims to replace manual management. Why do people still use paper? And they're trying to put together this one platform for creators, vendors, and attendees. The CEO of ONEID Global Technologies, Olalekan Salami, he is with us in the studio to discuss further. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Rotos. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, fantastic. It's always great to have young Nigerians putting their brains together and putting this stuff together. Why are we still doing event management manually?
I think it's the exposure that the people planning events have. That determines the kind of tools that they use for event management. A lot of event management or event planners don't really know the updated tools that they can use for event planning. So most of the time you see them using the likes of Google Docs, Google Forms rather.
Yeah.
And this is not dynamic enough to check in attendees at the event venue. So what they do is they print out a document, the guest list, and then they begin to
check it off. Is your name on the list?
Yes, it's your name, and that creates a lot of queue.
Yeah.
A lot of people on the queue trying to find their names, and some even get frustrated
and
depending on how important the event is, and then before you know it, they've left.
All right. So whose job is it to raise this awareness? I always like to ask this question: is it you in the private sector? Is it me in the media? Is it government, or is it all three of us?
It's a partnership. Everybody has to, be part of the conversation. So people like us creating the tools also need to create that awareness for people to know, or for event planners to know, that it's not enough to just focus on the side for event planners to get their money, because that's like the focus. We want to be able to process payments for event planners, but the experience has to also be top-notch. So you have to focus your solution on giving the best experience to the attendees. Aside from being able to register for events on websites, you also have to ensure that the check-in process is very seamless.
Okay.
So it's a joint
thing.
Yes.
It's Friday. People are going out tonight. There's all types of things going on today. How does it work? Does everyone from a person who puts the events together, the vendors who are probably sponsoring the event, and the attendees who are going to be attending the event, how does what you're doing at ONEID put all this together?
Okay, so interesting. Well, the people attending the event don't necessarily have to be on the application, because they go to the website to register for the event.
Okay.
But the event planners need to, be registered on the application, on the web platform, to one, create the event. If it's a free event, if it's a paid event, they have to sort that out, and then generate a registration link, and then share that on their social media links for people who wish to attend the event to register. Right, that's just the whole flow. Okay. So there's no need for attendees downloading any app. It's only for the people planning the event.
Now, is this different from like event? Everybody knows Eventbrite, yes, right? Eventbrite is just, are you competition with the Eventbrite?
Yes. A lot of these people actually use Eventbrite. At the end of the day, they print out the guest list, and that's why I said the focus is more on creating events and helping event planners get paid, process their payments.
So this is
so the focus more
is also a process as well on the platform.
Yes, you can.
Okay, so it's one stop.
Yes, you can do paid events as well.
Okay, but web platform. No, what about the mobile side?
It is mobile responsive, so you can also visit our platform on the mobile side. Your smartphone.
Okay. So if that's the case now, as far as the hacking, Toyota last week or the week before suffered, well, it wasn't a hack, sorry, let me take that back. It was a computer glitch is what they said. They said, I think they had to shut down about 14 of their plants in Japan or so. What about that risk? Or is it would you say every web platform has that risk?
Every platform on the internet is exposed or is palpable to that kind of risk. Susceptible to that kind of risk. Whether you're operating a mobile application or web platform, sometimes having an offline system for backup helps in such situations.
Yeah.
So yes, everybody's susceptible to.
Okay, so you know what I always ask is every time we try to balance this out, right? Every time a young tech person comes on to tell us about this new thing they've put together, I always want to ask about rural areas. Rural people have events, in our villages, respective villages. There's a town hall meeting, or if somebody wants to marry a fourth or fifth wife, or there's some big issue, a goat has been stolen, whatever it is. For events, how do you get the rural areas involved here?
I mean, we're trying to build an inclusive society, and anywhere education can get to, they sure can use the system. Because, education is the first thing, knowing how to operate a computer, right? So if education penetrates up to that level, then people can also use the platform.
And frankly, that's not your job, right? So the infrastructure, the ability to use the skills and so on, that has to get there first before they can adopt. Are you worried that the gap is widening between urban and rural areas? Because every time there's a anytime we talk tech, it is always focused on the urban areas. For example, later on we're going to be looking at electric vehicles and the baby steps Nigeria is taking. It's Abuja, it's Lagos where this is happening, right? The son of our colleague in Abuja, he went to an electric vehicle site in there, and so it's the rural areas that are always out of this conversation.
It's concerning. Because what that does, it puts a lot of pressure on the urban areas. And the rural areas are meant to support the urban areas. So the government needs to consider an approach that factors in putting infrastructures in rural areas. Like, it's really, really important. You can't keep, having that kind of emigration from rural areas without having some kind of support for the people there.
Is there a manual backup for what you're doing? If your system goes down, what's the... Oh,
yes, of course. We cannot totally
eliminate
the manual process for many reasons. AI inclusive, hacking inclusive. Always having like a black side, like, an offsite. An off link can save you in the days when your offline processes, go off. So yes, we can't totally take that out of the equation.
I need to throw this in there because the name of the company is ONEID. You're also involved in identity management.
Yes.
So talk about. So is that linked? Can you, if I go up to an event and I sign up and I use the platform, will they make sure it's Rootus that is there, or does that link in?
Okay. So as a company, the ONEID product is a different kind of product. But I'll quickly talk about it.
Of course, go ahead.
So the idea behind that is a lot of people want to move from one bank account to the other, and the process is maddening, right? And right now, it's not easy to be able to move an existing identity data from one bank to the other. So that's what ONEID is trying to do. We enable you to easily share your existing pre-verified KYC information with other third-party services, including banks, telecoms, and the likes.
I always feel like a lot of you in the identity space, much like the payment space in tech, is really growing, and there's a lot. But isn't there a worry that a lot of you are working in silos? So for ONEID, for the transfer of KYC data from one to the entity to the other, those entities have to sign up with you, right? So the banks would have to be using the ONEID to verify the data that's being transferred.
Yes.
But then you're competing with others, are you not?
Well, at the moment, I can't really point to any other company that is doing that. We have the B2B. We have the B2B companies doing that, right? But in terms of focusing on B2B2C, I'm not really saying that. And the conversation is moving towards that direction now with open banking for banks to be able to share customers' data securely with other third-party platforms for credit rating and things like that.
And so on and so forth, It's a big space. And again, the rural areas with the gap that's there, that gives you the potential to scale if we can get the infrastructure down there. It's great stuff. You guys doing good work. Always good to speak with Nigerians that are making strides. Oh, but one quick, are your software engineers, are they all based here, or are you outsourcing?
We are.
Tell the truth.
We don't have any Indians on the team. We're all Nigerians.
All Nigerians.
Yes.
Well, you didn't have to say Indians. You could have just said foreign software developers.
We don't have foreign.
Let's clear that up. Why indie keep coming up? That's because they're dominating. But anyway, Olalekan Salami, CEO ONEID. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate you coming to talk to us on our.